Hey everybody, it's Chris Borovic, and I'm back with some good old GOAT format content. This time's going to be a little different though, because I'm going to be reacting to a video that my friend Whisk had made recently, reviewing one of my matches in the most recent GOAT War tournament. I happen to have won that tournament, and I played some fantastic players and had some really interesting matches, including the one you're about to watch. But I just thought that his commentary in this match was missing a little bit of context. So I thought I'd watch this with you guys and add my own commentary on top of his, just so you can understand a little bit more about what I was thinking while I was playing this match. I don't know that games 1 and 2 are particularly interesting, but I think game 3 is, and I'm not so sure that everybody who would have been dealt the cards that I got dealt would have won the same way that I won. I mean, in order to get there, I guess if you're ready for it, grab a snack, grab a drink. Let's just pull it up.
We are going to assume that he is playing Chaos Turbo, and we are going to assume that we don't know what the opponent is playing.
I am playing Chaos Turbo in this event. In fact, I'm playing the same list that I had given Anthony last year for Worlds. I joined this kind of at the last minute. I didn't do any kind of prep in advance of this event. That's the last list I have. I haven't played in quite a while. And also, the match you're watching is actually a top 4 match. And right before this, I had watched Housegod defeat Anthony in top 8. And I had gone through all his replays preceding this throughout the tournament. So I reconstructed his deck list as best I could. And I know that he's running Royal Decree, for example, which is a significant thing in this match. And I don't think that siwski did that when he was watching this replay, so he was just kind of missing that context. There's other things. I mean, I only saw 34 cards in the main, but you could. It's probably a safe bet that he main decks the Snatch Steal and maybe the third Goad and the second Nobleman and the second Swap. But anyway, so I knew more about my opponent's deck than siwski did going into this match, and that might change some of his thoughts compared to mine. But let's just continue watching.
And let's get right into it. So our first hand is set Spy, set Regeki Break. Very obvious.
In this case, if I was playing against a turbo player, I might be inclined to set the Faith first, just so I don't ruin my ability to get a Dark in the graveyard. I can really wreck them with Nobleman and Faith, etc., etc. But because I happen to know I'm playing against this GOAT control player, who again is maining Decree, I think this is just a better option. I think Spies, if they resolve, can put tremendous pressure against the GOAT control player.
Opponent will spot and sets. Okay, so right here I would not use Regeki Break because the value of Regeki Break is so strong. I think it's the best trap in the format, and I would never use it like this in the end phase to pop the back rows or even to pop the set monster in this case, because one, we have attackers which can attack, and secondly we have also noblemen, so definitely I would save the Regeki Break.
So this is the first instance where I think that Whisk might have done something different if he knew that his opponent was playing Real Decree. That said, I have it like a good feeling that these back rows are Scapegoat and Royal Decree. And I think there's an argument to holding the Regeki Break and waiting until I draw something like Jar of Greed, and then setting that Jar of Greed, letting Housegod activate Royal Decree, because now I have 2 back rows and he doesn't want to activate Chain in case the second one's a Regeki Break. And then knowing which of these 2 back rows is the Royal Decree, and then targeting that specifically with Regeki Break. I think there's an argument for that line. However, in this case, because my intent is to man up with the Spies, Nobleman, set the Faith next to the Spies, I'm actually trying to hit the scapegoat. I think that would put a lot of pressure on my opponent and put me in a good position to win in just a few turns. Unfortunately, I hit the royal decree, which I don't think was what I mean. I just explained I wasn't trying to do that. I hoped that the chainable was the first set, but I was wrong.
Well, this is interesting because this is actually a good hit, but you know, unless
It's actually a
Christopher
bad
knew
hit.
that the opponent is playing royal decrees, which maybe he did. Maybe that's why he played Raigeki Break.
And of course, I drew the heavy storm
Okay,
afterwards.
but heavies from the top. Spy. So it looks like we will use Nobleman and set Fate this turn. But first, let's flip the Spy. And I think we can definitely go both spies in attack mode.
I agree with him. Yeah, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I will qualify that by saying you would not set the faith if your opponent responded with scapegoat on the spy attacks. So I think you're about to see, if I remember right, Housegod make a good play here.
Nobleman, yes. So it looks like our opponent is definitely on some kind of a control variant. Maybe it's just standard gold control, maybe it's chaos control, maybe it's even monarchs. But monarchs usually don't play merchant. So after attacking, let's see if it connects. It connects, and then we set fate.
So this is a little bit of a mind game thing. So, going back to my opponent's list, I had hoped that they were disinclined from taking the 2400, and that I was hoping that I had maybe read this face down wrong and it wasn't a scapegoat, but was instead Ring of Destruction. That seems like very likely that it isn't a Mirror Force in that case. And if it is a Ring of Destruction, I thought Setting Faith was solid. Unfortunately, my opponent's going to end phase the goats. And this is terrible. I'm in an awful position right now
Opponent goes scapegoat.
because I know that this is
What
coming.
this?
He steals my meta. I mean, my faith.
It's in.
And this puts me in a tight spot. But I drew Raigeki Break, and that's a great card because it at least gets me out of this losing position.
I think that he didn't attack the spy so that he would get rid of the moth so that he can use effect again next turn. So
I agree. Unless he has
the opponent has
Tsukiyomi.
one unknown back row and we top deck Raigeki Break. So
When I say that, it's because, I mean, he's at 56. Going down to 44 when I already have one spy on the board, or sorry, two spies on the board, could be very dangerous for him if he were to just attack preemptively. I could draw Suki, for example, and out this that way.
the plan is either to set Raigeki Break and kill the 1000 Eyes in the next turn. Hopefully our opponent does not have another Royal Decree. Or
That's why I have to
the
use the
plan
storm.
is to just preemptively first activate Heavy Storm. I mean, if you want to go for the safer variant, you have to Heavy Storm first. And I think it's quite worth it in this scenario. And then you also can set Fate.
Yep, I agree.
We can wait for the effect. We don't have to play it preemptively. Opponent sets 2 and it's our turn. We get Black Serpent and Moth can probably add Nobleman.
So I agree. I think that's exactly probably what I do. But, well, let's just wait a little bit.
Then attack the goats. And Nobleman. Does the order matter here? Probably does not.
Nope.
But
This Reaper is actually my downfall. from here on out, but we'll see. So I think that this play. Well, I'll let him say.
Okay.
He didn't even
This
consider
is
that.
interesting. I have not considered summoning serpent, especially because we might need to summon tribe and discard serpent if something bad happens. So interesting. We are putting in 1200, but I would not have summoned it.
So yeah, this backfires on me a little bit. I was looking at it from the perspective that one goat is gone. I don't know that he runs three goats. I have no evidence that he runs three goats. I wanted to get the goats off the board, but I also wanted to put my opponent on a clock. If you're looking at the board, you can see that I've got 3,000 damage on the board. If I can do 24 this turn and put my opponent down to 32, this is lethal right next turn. If I could just summon a tribe and attack, his mirror force is gone. The only real trap left is ring. I'm basically putting him on a 1-turn clock, and I thought that were he to reply with anything, he doesn't have a light. Were he to reply with anything, eventually I would get my sinister back, and my tribe would answer that. So, say for example, he came at me with I'm summoning a breaker. He might attack a spy. I turn everything to defense in a couple turns. Well, that's maybe not the best example because it would kill my spies. But anyway, I thought I'd get the sinister back, but this winds up backfiring a little bit. So in this case, had I had kept the sinister, I think I could have gone for game. I could have just summoned tribe, pitched for spellcasters, had a light and dark, and summoned BLS and double attacked.
Okay, got the BLS, but no attributes, so can't consider that one. Yes, just attacking is fine. No, that's bad. What?
Note that, like I said, the Reaper was my downfall because it ate up my nobleman that should have caught this faith. But he resolved this pot, and it's all going to be downhill from here. You also notice that I've got these 2 cards in my hand. I don't have a third, which he would know is a Sinister Serpent, to discourage a potential top-decked duo.
Now, we try to attack with spy, so attack with higher attack position, higher attack monsters first. So
Forces the goat.
It or plays goat.
Yep.
And if he plays goat, then we can trigger it with these 300 little fellas.
But he's got light and dark.
Since he does not play goat, I think we can put them in defense mode, because otherwise we will take 12,000, 1,300, 4,000 damage from his BLS. So
I don't know where that math came from. 5,400 is the number. That hurts.
Okay, another punishment for summoning serpent. So probably was better to hold it, definitely.
This is disastrous.
Adding metamorphosis instead of bot. It's interesting. And probably he will crash now. Which is fine.
I'm completely losing. The game's completely lost. This is an illusion. The pot is an illusion of.
He has Tsukuyomi. We can try to out this right now. If you don't, then he will keep attacking for 11. We can take a little bit of those hits and wait for a little bit for the cards to accumulate. So I will just pass.
So I don't wind up doing that. I wind up setting both cards. It was because at the time I was a little undecided about how I wanted to proceed. I thought a couple things. I thought if I set both, I might prompt him to end phase decree, and that would tell me which one is the decree. That's one. The second thing is, if one was an MST, I didn't want him to catch the book because there was a possibility that were he to in a couple turns go Suki down the Thousand Eyes. Not this turn, but the next turn. This turn he might take my Sinister and then summon Suki. Sorry, that was confusing. What I'm trying to say is he might take my Sinister, Suki it down, attack, flip Thousand Eyes up, and I could book the Suki in main phase 2 before the end phase, so that the Thousand Eyes gets stuck face up and the Suki gets face down, and that buys me some turns. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, but between that and catching the decree, I wind up setting both.
Because I don't know what is the value for setting MST here.
It's so that it gets MST'd. But he caught the book.
Okay, 300. Now we are getting in trouble because opponent is setting.
Got in trouble when he duoed.
To be honest, we don't have torrential.
Oof, oof.
But
my win condition here is Sorcerer Ring.
So definitely jar first because it could be decree.
I did forget
Did you
Sinister.
forget to add serpent?
Yeah.
I think yes.
I was just giving up. I just wanted to scoop. I also it didn't matter. I wasn't going to set Sinister. Didn't matter.
Definitely not good to forget serpent here.
Didn't matter.
Or possibly this was done on purpose, so that next turn we can do
Not on purpose.
char and draw phase. We have 3 in hand, player of dash it, but there is 0% chance that the opponent has dash it, and either way we can have set serpent. So
I wouldn't have set Serpent.
serpent is back now. We are definitely not going to play around dash it this turn. Just Thunder Dragon and jar of greed.
I could have end phased the Jar of Greed, but I didn't want to risk drawing into 2 Thunder Dragons.
This is good.
This
is not good.
not good.
We don't really have anything but to set serpent.
It's not quite the most optimal way to have done all that, but he's going to creature swap. Yeah, that's...
Oh god. I don't think that even if we did keep serpent...
Yeah, I threw this game. If I had played that...
Maybe it would change. Yeah,
Sinister...
Maybe it was actually a game-changing misplay to summon
Sinister. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Now, I don't know what Christopher is siding for control, but here are 2 things I would not have sided. One is Sakuretsu, one is Dashut. Both of those cards I do not usually side against control, especially because they have decrees.
So, like I said, I had just watched Anthony lose in top 8 to this guy, and I had seen that he sides out the decrees against Turbo. It's not the first time I've seen him do that. I fully expected him to do it again against me, so I did not think he was going to keep in the Royal Decree. That said, I took out, if I recall, 3 jogs and... If I remember, I'll say something about it. But I took out the jogs. Anthony had sided into the goat package, which is kind of... The argument there is that the Thunder Dragons make you faster than the, say, Merchant or Lily do with the regular goat control deck, and that head-to-head, if you have all the same cards, you're better. The problem with that is twofold. One is Housegod here is running 2 Tsukiomis, where you run 1 Tsukiyomi. So he has faster answers to your Thousand Eyes, which are less impactful. he runs 3 metamorphoses, so he's going to have his Thousand Eyes online more often than yours, because you're only siding into 2 metas. He's also main decking a Asura Priest, so he can punish those goats if you're ever reliant on them. So I whereas I had originally perhaps would have been inclined to agree with Anthony, especially just after watching that match. Like literally, I watched that match and then I challenged Housegod, said, "Hey, you got time tonight for another one?" I was disinclined from going the scapegoat route. I thought Trap Dash Shoot and Saku was going to be better. Also, in particular, because he side decks in the Rhoda and level 2 and Exiled against Turbo. So I wanted something that was going to catch level 2. So it may seem a little counterintuitive, but that's why I did it.
So we can just set Dashut, and so if you want to chain the Regeki Break to Decree anytime in the game, it's better to set it now. And this is the only consideration for setting Decree, otherwise I would not have set it here, I think. So probably Dashut and Regeki Break will be set.
Well, so Dashu will catch, if he's got whatever he's got, like if he's got Breaker, I can send back the Breaker. So I'm not forced to use Regeki Break. The Regeki Break's more for if he has 2 ways, like say like a Sinister and a Faith as an example, and a meta, and he's really encouraged to try to take my face down monster, I can punish that. If I see that his hand is dependent on a goat and he sets goat, I can punish that by destroying the goat. Otherwise, I don't know. Anyway, I think that in hindsight, I think I should have considered setting Saku more. In real life, I said, oh, well, I mean, I'm going to get punished by heavy. I don't want to do that. But the idea that I couldn't stop Rhoda on level 2 is something that I didn't even consider in the game. I don't know that I would have said it anyway because of the heavy thing. But it's something I wish I had considered. I didn't consider.
So let's see the hand. Kaiko, Ring, Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
Swap, Zabward.
Merchant, 100%.
Yeah, Merchant back is the best.
So I'm in a great position. This seems like an easy game to win.
Oh,
my opponent passed. That's interesting.
Passes.
So interesting. So honestly, Housegod played this really well. When I'm in situations like this, I also don't set oftentimes I don't set the card that you see off the dust chute, because as an example, if he drew like Scapegoat or Mirror Force and then set 1 on the following turn, I would probably read that as Ring of Destruction. Or even if he set, like as an example, he drew Mirror Force and then he set the 1 and set a monster, I would think, okay, that's got to be Ring of Destruction and maybe Merchant or Sanguine or something. And I would walk right into that Mirror Force because I wouldn't expect that. But if he were to set Ring of Destruction now and then on his following turn set another card, like I know that second set is the top deck. So by not playing it, it gives him the flexibility to kind of hide that Ring of Destruction later. I think that's a great play.
We can definitely set Sakuretsu here, and hopefully he does not draw Heavy Storm.
Well, I set Typhoon too because I want to catch a goat.
So he goes.
So that's the other thing too about the Ring of Destruction, that if he were to draw a goat right now and he were to set 2, now I'm playing a guessing game, like I said, instead of knowing which one to target with the MST.
Full power, both backrows to also pop his backrow.
But it's interesting that he didn't attack. I don't know that I would have done the same. I would have just taking my shot. Like, I wouldn't expect that my opponent's going to side in Saku, so he's just got to be fearing the Mirror Force there. So I don't know, that's interesting. I take my shot. I really need to hit a goat. I mean, he did the play that he needed to play. I know one of these is going to be a bluff at a minimum, but he's hiding a set. I'm hoping to hit the goat.
Very interesting.
Now I do consider Regeki breaking one of the back rows, but I don't. I want to hold the Snatch and the Sorcerer.
So now we know that one set is ring, one set is unknown or swap.
I thought, in this case, it didn't make sense to pop a go. I could just snatch the Kaiku. I would attack with Kaiku first. I think that's what I'm gonna do. He wouldn't ring. He would just use goat, and that he would leave himself with one goat for the meta. And I had the opportunity to Regeki break that later or whatever. As in, my Regeki break was the answer to the Thousand Eyes. I didn't have to trade the Regeki break for the goat. I could trade it for the goat and the meta. So I think for a bit, but I'd let that go.
In either case, Snatch still man's deck is good.
Yep, 100%. I didn't test for Mirror Force yet. That might have been in the draw, so I turn one of Spy to defense. He rings the Kaiku, which is interesting. I guess he's in a losing position. He's not going to have a better time to do it, and it's better to take it 18 now than an additional 18 through the attack, or additional 800 through the attack.
I agree with Spy defense. No reason to die red with Mirror Force. No,
so the one downside here is by Sakuing this, I do give him the light in case his draw was BLS at some point, because I haven't tested that extra turn. This might be a meta, for example, face down. But I've got Regeki break I can discard my light, and I'd still be in a great position. So
Saku is actually good. Look at this. The 3 Bricketeers in our hand.
I did test for Mirror Force, and he didn't have it.
So we win game 1. Game 2 by Spy beat down the classic Chaos Turbo win condition.
Like I said, I didn't think game 1 and game 2 were that interesting.
Game
but
3, opponent T sets, and we are keeping.
So in this match, I believe because I was going second, I took out the dust shoot. I think maybe I had just done jogs for 2 Sakus and 1 dust shoot, and maybe now I did the jogs for 2 Sakus and 1 meta or something like that, like 1 random meta. I couldn't tell you exactly why I had done that, but okay.
Sakus here, and it looks like we decided into a little metamorphosis scapegoat package.
I don't know that I hit the scapegoat.
So this hand looks like same considerations as before in regards to setting or Regeki break. We don't have any discard fodder, but if you want to change it to decree, then you have to set it, and definitely we will duo immediately.
I don't think he's got decree.
Yeah, so. Oh.
So there's some interactions here that we're probably skipping over as far as the thinking emoji. Well, maybe I'll get to it in a little bit.
I think that Christopher definitely knows all of this stuff, so he knows about the Mystic Swordsman. Maybe that is why he sided.
Yep.
Sakuretsu. This is very unexpected.
Yeah, I think the torrentials. Oh, dang! Whoops! I mean that. Sorry. Oh no! I don't know where it was.
Even if it also a scenario.
Yeah.
Where we do not have to put both spies in attack mode. It's So just put 4 in defense.
I think I concur with that, yeah.
Goes for serpent. Now do we set torrential? I think not.
I think I do. Oh, but hang on.
Let's see what this torrential brings.
So this is one of those instances where I wish torrential was a Saku, obviously. I don't want to trade both the torrential and my spies for this Kaiku. He still needs a way to get through the extra spy. I'm safe to just let this Kaiku go through. But I want to see if I can like slow down this video a little bit. Well, no. I wish I looked at I could see the timestamps. I think I just let this go, and I'm because I don't want to make him think that I could respond to the summon.
So, oh, okay.
Yeah, I have no lights. The Kaiku didn't get anything in my graveyard. It
It's
doesn't.
fair. It's fair.
Yep. That was a great draw.
For sure, we can just try to kill Tsukuyomi.
Yep.
But
And
now, I like to go into this potential mirror force, which has not been cleared. Which I don't think I agree with, because okay, the set can be of course anything else like Regeki break and ring, and in those cases it's better that we try to kill this Kaiko while we can. But even if we don't kill the Kaiko, our spy, if we suppose remains in defense to carry on mirror force, is protecting us, and we have the torrential if he decides to commit anything like DLS or scapegoats and meta.
so the one thing that's maybe missing from that is that I had duoed him on turn 1 and caught a goat. I don't think that most people, their first set is going to be Mirror Force. I think it's going to be a chainable. So after I had attacked with the first spy and he let that go, I actually regretted that because I felt like, oh, I think that face down is ring. And that was something that I was aware of going into that play, that I had read that it was ring. And that's why I attacked with both.
Okay, so it is awarded in this case because it's ring, and now we are feeling quite unhappy about this torrential because now we are getting a little bit vulnerable to heavy storm. Would feel better if we have kept it in hand, probably. Lucky for us, no heavy, and this is crazy to not attack with spy.
Well, I don't know that it's crazy. I thought that there was a possibility he was going to go tribute for Zaborg here, and that I was going to actually finally be able to use my torrential, or that I would prompt him in order to answer spy, perhaps say flip merchant, get meta, activate meta, and then I would trade. I just thought I would be able to burn a power card of his for my torrential, which would make me less vulnerable to heavy storm in the long run. So I actually just wanted an excuse to get the torrential off the board. If you were to flip it, okay, no, and not do anything, or say summon Suki, I could torrential. But if you didn't do anything, I just attack it later. Me attacking it doesn't stop the Suki from coming down. All the same, I would torrential that.
Because of Tsukuyomi possibilities.
That's why I would torrential.
Very dangerous. And secondly, we have seen the Zaborg, which is also very dangerous. I would have attacked with spy.
I think attacking with spy actually keeps me vulnerable. Like if he goes, as an example, I attack spy into say merchant or faith or whatever, and he summons a Sura priest, I'm stuck in that scenario where I have a torrential behind my spy, and I would have to, perhaps not on that turn, but then on the following turn or such, use that torrential on that Asura priest anyway. I would rather use the torrential against a more powerful card.
Okay.
That's
See?
frustrating.
Metamorphosis is hit, and then we have to discard.
I think I make a mistake here. Yeah, I felt very uncomfortable getting rid of this breaker. I thought that I should have kept that. The idea, I looked at my hand and I said, oh, I've got a Rikishi break down, a torrential down. You know what's going to be perfect? Drawing Thunder Dragon. And it was, I pictured that scenario and I kind of wanted to will that into existence, but I also would have preferred, I think, to just kept the breaker, pitch the Regeki break. Pitch the draw off the Regeki break. Try to get in some clear shots. Do some damage.
Okay. Well, if we get the Thunder Dragon, it's better.
Yeah. So my opponent, by not flipping this Faith, really threw me for a loop. I thought I was reading, perhaps not Sinister, but maybe Sanguine. Not Sanguine. Merchant or something like that. I didn't think Faith here. But when he said this one,
so he did not flip the first one, so that's why we know the second one.
Yeah, he got me. Yeah, like I said, Housegod played really well this match.
And now attacking. Well, I really don't understand this. The information that was gained this turn is that the set is not spy. So I guess that's.
I knew he didn't have spy.
Even so, probably. Yeah, definitely he didn't attack because of spy.
And none do spy.
And yeah, but it's very hard to say which risk is higher, the spy or the Tsukuyomi or the board.
Actually, I think when we were in the game, I thought that I was going to be looking at a Reaper, and that's when I was like, oh, if I turn the spy to attack, that might prompt him to summon something alongside the Reaper to try to connect, and that would give me my torrential value. I think that's what I thought. I'm not entirely sure.
Spies are 3, and Tsukuyomi and the board are also 3, so it's about equal. Sets 1, it's probably going to be Scapegoats.
So the crappy part about drawing the Book of Moon is you might think, oh, I'll use the Book of Moon on the if he goes goats, I would use it on Thousand Eyes, and to protect my spy. But in reality, I have torrential to answer the goat meta play. You might think, oh, if he attacks, I'll book my spy. I don't think anything of that is worth making myself even more vulnerable to the heavy storm, and I need something to discard with Regeki Break. If, say, a BLS were to come down after torrential, and I still am holding out hope that I'm going to draw Thunder Dragon for this Sorcerer.
So the book, which is very good.
Sorcerer is part of my win condition in my mind.
But setting it now, we will be vulnerable to heavy storm.
I agree.
At the same time, setting it's very good with the spy. So 28 cards in hand, the probability for drawing heavy storm is going to accumulate every turn, and we don't see any fast way that our backer will be gone. But the immediate award of book is a lot of things, like breaker, Kraiko, Thousand Eyes, Snatch. So again, hard. Okay, so he sets now goes Scapegoat. Well, definitely. Again, we are being tempted to set the book to protect against Thousand Eyes, but we are again worrying about heavy. Now it's 1 in 27, and for Thousand Eyes we only have torrential. So I wonder what Christopher will do here.
So we're getting to this point where you can see that my opponent side decks 3 trap dust shoots, and I did not consider that he had been drawing into dead dust shoots at this point. I was not entirely convinced that he didn't go back to Decree. it wasn't. I didn't know if he was trying to mind game me in that respect. My sorcerer was dead. I felt, oh, if I wind up trading that for a death shoot, so be it. But I didn't feel like exactly what Whisk had said about the threat of heavy was worth setting the book.
Nothing. I think I will do the same. Okay, we got dash shoot. Interesting.
At least that tells me he's not on decree.
And now decides to not attack the tokens. Again, a choice that I would have made differently. Unless he's just planning for sure to use this torrential on the tokens.
Yeah, so I had the thought of attacking a token and then on the following turn booking a spy and getting a second spy and attacking both tokens. But I mean, I'm just looking at 25 cards in deck, 5 cards in hand. What 5 cards does he have that isn't going to punish that kind of, I want to say, overextension or the commitment to that line? What I thought is I need to hold all of this because shit is about to hit the fan and I'm going to need some real answers. I'm actually not in a good position. I don't have line of sight on a game shot. I didn't think that the spy killing a token was necessarily even going to get me there. If anything, I thought, maybe if God willing, he sets a faith, I could book torrential, but no.
Attacking is also, I think, a decent play. So now we got
horrible draw.
Spy, making our book
That-
a bit worse.
Yep.
But now you see we would be able to clear all the spies if we attack the previous turn. But since we haven't, the setting this spy has actually some merits because it baits a lot of stuff like mind and creature swap. So definitely set the spy.
Yep.
Okay.
In this scenario, just want to say that, how do I say this? When your opponent creature swaps and takes against your face down monster and the face up spy, I think it is a safe bet to assume that they are expecting you to give them the face up monster. In that case, I thought, oh, my opponent's basically telling me that they have Nobleman. Or they have Zaborg, this doesn't matter. I didn't want to give him the face-up spy for that reason, so I gave him the face-down one, thinking, oh, I might be able to buy myself more time in the event that he thought he was going to answer that with the Nobleman.
Oh, okay.
I think it was...
Excuse me for that. So we give him the set spy.
As actually, in that moment when he handed me the token, that's when I said to myself, oh, actually, he would have Nobleman first if he had Nobleman, and he just wanted the spy. I think he's got Zaborg. And then he had Zaborg.
What is the benefit of giving him the set spy over the face-up spy?
It's a misreading of the situation.
It's interesting. I don't know.
But finally,
But here's the Zaborg.
I'm able to use this torrential.
I think this is the time for torrential.
Yep.
Again, sets up a Sanden for the same reasons as before.
No.
But in this case, we're actually kind of upset because if he has Nobleman now, we don't want to get Nobleman into Sangen. So
Look at his life.
Considering he has 2 Regeki breaks and he doesn't have Nobleman used yet.
The question I'm always asking myself whenever I'm playing is, how do I win? I see my opponent at 45. 45. I think that's very different than if they're at 35. I think 35 is just easier to win. If I can get in 2 attacks because I can protect the Sangen with the Regeki break, or if he sets like a Nobleman, I can bring him down to 25, and that's just a BLS shot. I I don't agree with setting Sangan. I think it's way too passive.
Sangan is the way to go. Going to lose to BLS regardless.
Well, not if I book the Sangan.
Setting book, unfortunate. BLS.
Yep.
Goddamn. Lily. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So, I'm real curious what you would do. This was one of those moments. Like I've drawn complete aids for like 10 turns here. I haven't drawn anything good. Thunder Dragon, I think all 3 copies are at the bottom of my deck. I it's really important to just like look at this and ask, how can I win the game? If I take this Lily, Snatch wins me the game. That was a big part of it. If I take the Lily once, it's not a threat again, and I can use one of my 2 Regeki breaks on the BLS and have a second Regeki break for another threat. I get dangerously low, but also Ring becomes a win condition or a tie condition. So I think I correctly took it and did not eat it. But let's see what Swiss thinks.
So let's see. We can outvote monsters if we go like minus 2 cards. We can trade all these 4 cards to out the monsters.
The other thing to keep in mind is, there were a few turns there where my opponent hadn't applied any pressure. And I think if I'm not looking at their hands, but if I were to guess at their hand, I would think that they have Snatch, Metamorphosis, perhaps the Nobleman. I don't think they have, and perhaps they have maybe Tsukiyomi. No, I think I don't. Probably not. They don't have an aggressive monster like an Asura Priest or a Breaker like that. But Snatch is real. So when you think about your win condition here, like I can't simply top Graceful into I guess like a light. I was gonna say a light and a dark and go into Sorcerer, but I do have the Book of Moon, so that is helpful. Well, anyway, I think about their hand. I'm thinking about my win condition. I think I have to take the Lily Shot.
So let me know in the comments what you would do here, but
I think it's the only way to open up a game shot.
2,000, he is at 15.
Oh, and Tribe.
If we take it, we are at 2-9.
This gives me another win condition.
There's not much we can top deck.
Tribe.
Besides
Snatch.
Bot, Charity, and stuff like that.
Nope, Snatch, Tribe.
Snatch.
Yep, and Tribe.
But how are we going to survive this? So I guess just Regeki break to discard Regeki break. Oh god. So bad. I don't even know, man. This is just a terrible position. Let's just see what the master himself has done. Okay, he takes it.
So it's funny. I took the 3,400 not knowing that he was going to pay, but really just to entice him to pay. He did not have to pay.
And
I was hoping to draw Tribe.
We have to play.
Tribe. So this is such a good play. He knows that if I've got Regeki breaks and if he's got the one face down goat, that if I were to draw Tribe, like I might Regeki break the one face down and then just Tribe, I guess, against for 1 and tack over the Lily or whatever. But it's such a good play because it really renders all of my Regeki breaks ineffectual against his back rows.
Prayer
Tells me one of them is Snatch, though.
Not answered.
And of course I drew
again, there's
8.
nothing we can do. Really nothing. Okay.
And he correctly reads this. This is, I mean, he honestly he's played very well. This is exactly the one you wanted to snipe.
This doesn't do anything. Okay, this does something.
So it tells me again one of these is I think snatch.
Well, so we have to discard, I guess, MST.
I shouldn't have dumped the Dolman first, if I'm honest. I should have dumped the MST first.
Doesn't matter unless he said.
At the time, I was kind of resolved to using both Regeki breaks, but when he attacked, I was thinking about not using the Regeki break, but I do end up using it.
Also dead. Ah, okay.
So before I draw, just to be clear, I thought Breaker, Tribe, these were outs. That was how I could win that turn. Where and also if I were to wait on using the Regeki break, I thought it'd be real easy for him to do 700 damage. He's got more monsters that can do that than can do 19. So I would be putting myself on an even tighter clock. So that's why I felt like I had to use both Regeki breaks there.
Okay.
So we did have the Nolman.
Okay.
So this is interesting. I think this face down winds up being Mirror Force, if I remember right. Let's see.
Okay, cool.
I don't use the upstart because I am. Whoops. I don't use the upstart because I am cognizant of my outs. Like I said, Tribe, Snatch, these are my outs to win the game. He just used an Oldman. He doesn't have Sinister. There's a good chance that I'll be able to flip this deco. We'll see.
Oh, this is a very high brain play. I would not have done so because drawing deco and any monster would be little damage. But Torrential is alive. Mirror Force is alive.
There's no Torrential.
Scapegoats are definitely alive. I would not have hoped for little, so I would have played up.
I have to hope for lethal. That's the only way I'm going to win the match. So this is interesting.
Let's see if he goes through with the little plan and just attacks with to the Coach's one. That would be too insane.
So the other thing to keep in mind is that if I leave one Dekochi on the field, I give him a snatch target. He could just as easily go snatch Suki it down, as an example, and put me in a really tough spot.
There is no way. I think he will go to upstarts.
Nope. I went one, because one didn't matter.
The question is, should we... Yes, we can. Yes, we will play around Dashi, definitely.
So I think there's merit to attacking with the deco and then tribute setting for Thunder Dragon, given that he didn't answer the deco last turn. And I originally had that thought of, let me just pitch the Thunder Dragons, and that's why I set the upstart first. And then I just kind of impulsively said, let's go for it. Like, let's see if he's got it.
Okay, this is really insane.
And I walked right into it.
God damn. I would not have done that.
So after I had set that upstart, I had started thinking about all the ways that this could potentially backfire on me. Like I was coming up with a whole list of plays. But when I thought of Breaker as the card, I thought, oh no, I've painted myself into a corner here. Breaker is going to answer my Thunder Dragon, going to steal the upstart, and I just kept putting more and more plays on him, like a level 2 or a Surprise, or some way that he was going to be able to get damage over my Thunder Dragon, and I was going to have to go down that upstart line anyway. And I thought, well, why give him the turn or the turns? Let me just see if he's got it, and he did.
I was so happy about just attacking with a floater,
Yeah.
setting the Koji, and activating upstart.
I set the heavy to play around Dushu.
Oh, we even got the heavy. Oh.
So, in this case, I drew BLS. I pitched Thunder Dragon because I don't want to summon BLS right now. You can see that he's at 3,500, and I told you I think he's got Snatch. Like I've been thinking he's got Snatch. I haven't tested for Snatch. I can't just put that BLS out there and leave Snatch live. I have to hope that he summons a monster on his next turn that's not Breaker, and doesn't hit this heavy, and then I'm just gonna go for it. Even if he does hit it, I'm gonna wind up going for it. His Mirror Force is gone. I hope he doesn't have Ring, unless that's already been used. But we'll see what happens.
What's the PLS now? Oh no. Oh, we're going to win.
Yeah.
Unless...
So I didn't know at the time. I remember thinking, like, God, I hope this isn't goats. But when I drew the book, I was like, oh, thank God, because that at least gives me an out in the event that he has meta. But
yes, Housegod. Yes, we are winning this. Oh, what a crazy game!
It is a crazy game.
Oh, and this was so enjoyable to review. Very, 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 very enjoyable. Very nice game. Let's have a discussion in the comments about the disagreements. And Christopher, I know that you are watching this.
No.
I know that you watch all my videos. So Christopher,
Yes.
I expect the biggest comment to be from you, and I will like it, I will heart it, and I will even pin it. So thank you for the comment.
How about if I make a 1 hour comment?
My review is correct, your play is wrong. So until next time, take care, and actually stay tuned, because I have another Christopher Perovic video to review, and this will be the next video, so stay tuned. Goodbye.
You know what? Actually, I think...
Hello and welcome to...
Well, that just started the next video, but I think what I want to do is I want to look at that match and get up to the end, and I want to see what he had in his hand. I wish Whiskey had done that by looking at the hand and kind of just asking himself the question, if he had just set the deco, would he have won that match? So let's just take a little look-see. Let's go to game 3. Put that on fast forward. We're gonna just rewatch this a little bit. Oh, Ring was already gone. I forgot about it at that point in the match. I was going to take a while. Well, anyway, so in general, I kind of wish that Whisk had asked himself that question at the various points in which he disagreed with that my plays during that last game. If he had done them his way, would they have worked out all the same? We'll try to watch it back with the benefit of hindsight, with knowing these in-hand cards. Oh, he did have Snatch. He had Snatch all game. Yeah, so that's an interesting point. Yeah, I never really gave him the opportunity. I kept drawing like aids. I never gave him the opportunity to really test or snatch. But it was very top of mind for me. I didn't realize he had the lily then. Yeah, I guess you do go swap just because in case you do run into a torrential. But swap is powerful to do otherwise if. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know. Anyway. Of course the pot hurts. With the mirror force behind it. Also hurts. Yeah, he played this very well. Oh, so he had the snatch in his hand. Like, I mean, obviously, yeah, we'd seen the other ones the rest of the match. It's crazy to think that he's got Nolman, Mirror Force, and Snatch, and yet, like, there was a way I came back. Does shoot. My pot. If I had. Yeah, if I just summoned an attack, that would have lost. If I would have upstarted into 25, well, I'd have this. I'd have the deco in the next draw now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that upstarting first would have changed anything. I wind up in the same spot. And then here, yeah, I could have done the Thunder Dragon. I could have attacked for 11 and set Thunder Dragon. Well, I'm curious how that would have played out. So I would have got Mirror Force there, but he probably would not have Mirror Forced. Unless, yeah, I don't think he would have Mirror Forced. I would have gone down to 11, but then that risks that. Does shoot again. So in that case, I would have flipped up Thunder Dragon, attacked, got Mirror Force, and had a deco to set. Yeah, that would have been. Tribe would have hit the deco. And I wouldn't have had to. I would have had to pitch the Thunder Dragon and set the heavy all the same. So I actually don't think that the deco play actually changed anything. Just because I mean, I only won really because he wound up drawing the dead dust shoots. Yeah. So I don't think it changed anything. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, that was my match against Housegod for Tap 4 of Goat World 4. Check it out on the Goat World server. The next tournament, try to qualify for the World Championships next year. That's it. That's a wrap. Take it easy.